I just want to say how great it's been to have everybody in my life. So many people here I've known for a really long time. I'm so blessed to have a room full of people that have come here to be with me as I transition into the next life. And be kind to yourselves and be kind to everybody else. That's my message before I leave the planet.
Because I always thought, my gosh, I've got this incredible, award-winning cinematographer as my father. And I always remembered growing up, he would go on a trip and then he'd come home and then have to pack up for another trip.
And this crazy family made up of so many of my friends from the film industry, because you do become a family when you work in that world. And we've all stuck together for decades now. There's people here I've worked with for over 40 years.
Thanks to everybody who saved my dad's life out in the field.
A life lived in joy, and he transitioned into the next part of his journey in the same way. He looked at all these pictures, and then he said, boy, I've really been to some exciting places. I've really been to a lot of places, haven't I? Sure was proud of my dad. It was one of the largest aneurysms they've ever seen that my father had. It was from his armpit all the way to his kidneys, and they did not expect him to survive. He was not expected to survive, but he was also not a candidate for surgery. And, you just can't believe it when that kind of a thing happens, because that means that, you're in the final days of your life, and that's a hard pill to swallow.
I cannot survive this. It's not medically possible to survive this. Fortunately, the good people of Colorado have created a law that allowed me to meet with 2 doctors and a nurse and have them hear my story and look at my chart. She said, "Oh my God, Rich, I read your chart last night. From my point of view, you're certified right now." But if somebody has a terminal diagnosis, who has the right to force me to live that out, suffering?
I really wanted to support my dad in that decision. It's been hard to come to terms with. I can't imagine not being able to have that option.
All right. Well, here it goes.
Wow.
A lot of work to do. Our entire lives have been turned upside down. Losing Rich has been one of the hardest things that we've had to go through. And it's every day been a struggle without him here, but we're so grateful that he was able to go in the way he did instead of having to suffer and having this drawn out. He and I were buddies, and I always thought of him as the father I never had, and just a great man. And I've been very sad since his passing.
I can still feel him here. This is where he laid. I laid right next to him. Put my head right here on his shoulder. No person has ever loved anyone more than my dad loved my mom, and he had to watch her go through a lot. I know that there was part of him that didn't want for us to have to go through that with him, because it's such a helpless feeling when your loved one is suffering and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And Mumsy would sit right over there in that chair right there, and she would listen to him play.
That's right. It's her favorite thing.
I always used to like playing for them too. And now I can.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
But now they're a captive audience right here on top of the piano.
Now they have to listen to you, huh?
Now, I'm aware that it is a topic that is controversial, and in the UK, that right now there's a debate going on about bringing it into effect. I certainly can understand how people would have concerns that it's something that could be misused in cases that weren't terminal. For us, it was a gift, and it worked. I just wanted to go stand over by where we're going to spread Mumsy and Didim's ashes.
Before Rich left, he picked this out. He said this would be a great spot.
And we can just walk right out of the house and feel so close to them. Feels right.
It does feel right.
As I like to say, I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and this time it is the train.
The day my dad passed, the last thing that he ever got to share with us was a beautiful piano piece that he played for us. And he really, lingered on that last note. It was so beautiful. He just really was taking it all in. We accompanied him back to the bedroom, and within that hour, he was gone.
Thank you, guys.
That was so beautiful.